Hi, welcome to Take It Up with Jessica Lee. Today's guest is Meenakshi Dhingra from Google. Hi, Meenakshi, how are you?
Hi, Jessica. Very well, thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Oh, I'm so delighted to have you join us all the way from Asia. We are celebrating Women in Tech, and I wanted to invite you on to share some of the career advancement you've had and the successes. Could you please explain what is your role for Google in Asia?
Sure, Jessica. I'm currently heading vendor operations for our Google Customer Solutions team across Asia Pacific. So my team helps our small and medium advertisers set up their campaigns and work through their campaigns to meet their marketing goals through some third-party providers that are located out of 7 different sites across Asia Pacific and on into a few thousands.
Okay, so this is a big piece of the business, the advertising. It's a significant part of Google. How big is your team? You are a leader of a pretty wide team of operations and
Yeah.
vendor managers.
So my team is a combination of Google employees and third-party providers, vendors that we work with. So I have, a fairly senior team of Googlers that are spread across 7 different sites, and the vendors that we work with run into about a few thousand across those sites. So it's a
Okay.
massive operation, and Google believes in putting kind of a lot of technology to its solutions. Of course, we are a very lean team of Googlers, about 8 of us who manage, this portfolio.
Okay. Let's talk about some of the success you've had, because I know that you study engineering, electrical engineering, and then you went on to get a business degree too, right?
Mhm, mhm.
So maybe you can share about your career advancement and some of the achievements.
Sure. I think I would like to go back to paint a picture about the environment I grew up in. So I was born and brought up in a very small village in north of India. To So much so that none of the people that I've ever met in my career have ever heard about that village. So I was the first woman engineer to actually go and do engineering in that village, and the first one to actually just step out of the city to go for education. The family background was fairly humble, and the women were expected to either become teachers or become homemakers. So my story is kind of really about challenging the status quo and really trying to do something that girls were not supposed to do. So they told me girls don't do engineering, they become teachers, and if they're really good, they become gynecologists. And I wanted to do something different. So then I said, I'll do engineering. And then they said, okay, all right. If you make it that far and you actually get admission into an engineering college, which by the way takes a lot of effort, then you should probably do computer engineering and get into a desk job. And though I had the rank, I did not want to do that. So I said, I'll do something different, like heavy industries, machines, right? Do something kind of which challenges the norm again. And then when I graduated from my engineering college, I had 2 options. I could pick up like a software engineering job with Tata Consultancy, or I had an option to work with a state-owned oil company and again work with them in oil plants where women do not go. So guess what?
Yes.
I chose the latter, and I said I'm going to go work in Indian Oil, and I think that was probably the best decision I could have ever made. Going into an environment where there are like 50 blue collars workers reporting to you, and you're this young kid, girl from college who doesn't know anything about it, was absolutely a unique challenge. So I worked there. I went through my own share of struggles, but really enjoyed that journey. Um, and then 4 years later, I chose to do MBA and went to Indian School of Business. So right after ISB, I was kind of again evaluating my options, and of course, consulting was one kind of clear option for somebody who was in the dean's list. Going to maybe manufacturing kind of setup again was always an option, but then Google came on campus, and I thought they're not going to even shortlist me because I had no relevant experience. I had no background in tech per se, but I was passionate about the company. And then, of course, the magic happened. So I've been in Google for almost 11 years now. And my journey is of learning, trying different things, and really optimizing for my own learning and what I'm giving back to the company. So I've done a variety of roles in operations, strategy, and sales. And I also worked in people operations for a couple of years, which was, again, challenging the norm and following just the set path.
Mm-hmm. That's a wonderful story. Challenging the status quo, making an impression, right? And forging the way for others to go through that journey too.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I love it. Thanks for sharing that. And what are the challenges you have now? What are the big goals? Like, what's next? What are you gonna change next?
Sure. So I kind of, again, went through a big change. We were in Hyderabad. I have got two kids, two boys, and my husband works for Microsoft. So we were pretty happily settled in Hyderabad, which of course was unsettling somewhere to the learner inside me. So we moved to Singapore late last year as I got on this opportunity to head our Asia Pacific vendor operations for GCS. So it has been quite a change. And again, going back to my traditional roots, getting my husband to change jobs or be unemployed for a little while to support my career and also kind of change countries at the same time was a big zig off that we did. So honestly, I'm looking for a little bit of a quiet time, but there's a lot of exciting stuff happening at work. We are exploring new markets. We are exploring new ways of working with our third-party providers, and we're also looking to challenge our growth in some of the growing markets, some of the developing economies like India and China. So there are huge growth plans in the next couple of years. There are a lot of new models that we're going to try out. And my team currently is running some 4 different pilots to prove the model, to kind of figure out how do we move away from status quo. So lots to come. Some of them, of course, is Google confidential. But I think there's a lot of stuff happening, in terms of setting a really new benchmark for how we run sales through vendors in APAC.
Excellent. Yes. 4 exciting pilots running to see what kind of business models, changes efficiency and new revenue streams and all that. So that's very exciting. I know you can't review the details, but I'm sure you were probably using a lot of machine learning and artificial intelligence, automating processes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there is a 3-pronged focus that we have got. The first one is really thinking about operations in its true sense. So Google is always a product company, and we kind of really make great products. But then to sell those products and to support the millions of advertisers on those products takes a very high level of operational efficiency. So we are looking kind of to strengthen the core. The second pillar is really kind of, leveraging the technology. So automating the processes, using machine learning, using some of the user patterns to see what is it that works for a specific market. And there is also a big component of localizing that, right? So all this while our products are fairly uniform. So what sells for, say, US may not necessarily sell for, say, Vietnam or Indonesia. So we're trying to go hyper local through use of technology and through use of kind of, some specific customized programs that we're trying to run. And then the third theme is how do we kind of develop the whole ecosystem and the whole community where it becomes a self-sustaining model. It's not always we putting either bodies to the problem or innovating new, but how do we kind of, get the market excited? How do we accelerate those plans, at a market level so that there's a natural pull coming towards Google? So, I mean, those are the kind of 3 big levers that we are, pillars that we are working with. And hopefully they all put together will give us the boost that we're looking for.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for sharing, Meenakshi. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us from Singapore. Very exciting projects you're working on, and you are definitely a role model in some of the new innovative things you're doing. Also, just like breaking the mold, like the expectations, right? You're pushing the envelope, which is fantastic. So appreciate you being on the call, being on the show.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Thanks for having me over. It was a pleasure talking to you.
There you have it, folks. Take it up with Jessica Lee.